Well, I'm a little late making the video this week, but I'm on holidays this week, so anyway, what I've got done up till now, today I locked all of the pulleys, chain sprockets onto the shaft, and they all got key seats on them. Or keyways in them, and I made these two collars. This one's well, they're both lawnmower blade holders. This one's aluminum. I've seen one like that, just discovered it recently, but I just want them so try to make absolutely sure that nothing moves. I would have put them on this one too, but that would have entailed tearing more bearings off and stuff, and didn't want to do that. The other thing I did, which I found I had to do in the past, is grind little flats on the shaft where the set screw, the second set screw touches. That seems to help stop them from coming loose. They're all Loctited in and torqued, so here's hoping they don't cause me problems. Had problems with my motors in the past due to all the vibration the motor puts out. The set screws and that they don't like it. So even with Loctite, it doesn't always work for too long, anyways. But the other thing I may do, I may run electrical tape around it, just so that if they come loose, they won't go, flying across the yard, lose them. So the main timing shaft is pretty much done now. The other thing, I don't quite remember where I left off last week. All 6 top motor mounts are done. That I may have been done that a week ago. I don't recall. But so what I plan on doing tomorrow is I'm going to I'll probably just put them on top here. 3 motors on top of the horizontal shaft engines, and build an intake manifold between them, and then hook a carburetor up. I'll also have to put some type of a gas tank holder, since I got nothing there. So I shield my shaft and sprockets with steel plates to keep the weld spatter off them, because you don't want the dots of weld where the chain has to mate. And up till now I had to slide these sprockets along the shaft and that, so one little spot of weld, and that doesn't happen. So anyway, I'll show you my what I call my MillPress that took me about a day to make for lengthening keyways in the shafts. So here's my MillPress. Basically, got a 4-flute 3/16 milling cutter, and chucked it up, and I don't move the wheel down at all. I leave it right at the top because it's stiff there. As soon as you drop it down, it starts flopping. So because of that, I have no vertical travel. So to adjust the cutting depth for the key seat in the shaft, I have to adjust this with the chuck key and kind of eyeball it. So this is far from a precision instrument here, but I have this 2-way slide vise, and so basically you get it all lined up in this direction with this, tighten it up in the vise, etc., and line it up with an existing keyway, and then just slide it in with this as you're cutting. Spin 1100 RPM in this case. It went faster, but it vibrated too much. So like I say, it's not perfection, but it seems to do what I want it to. And get 2x6 by 3/16 HSS steel tubing there, cut off. And I welded these two together, but I bolted it onto the drill press first, and then I bolted it with Allen head bolts to this, and then tried to get it squared up using this arrangement. I actually have a drill bit I cut off that I chucked up in here that fit the key seat, but even that wasn't quite right, so I ended up shimming the vice jaws it's like when this thing was made, it's not 90 degrees to one another. So it would touch this end of the key seat and be out on this end. So that was the only way I could correct it, was with that. I tried rotating it, tried all kinds of stuff, didn't make any difference. Like I say though, it should serve my purposes, but it burned up a day building it. So anyway, the other thing I did, I built up an engine last night there, horizontal engine. Had to lap the valves in it and do all kinds of fun stuff, a lot of cleaning and all that. So I have been busy, just haven't made any great accomplishments. Like I say, tomorrow my aim is to build an intake manifold, fasten 3 of them together, and try to give that a run. So everybody have a good one. Here I've got my oil level test rig. Normally a lawnmower takes, I believe, these 3.5 rigs is about 600 milliliters, 0.6 liters, and the horizontal ones may take half a liter. It's in the 500 to 600 milliliter range anyways. So what I've done, I dumped half a liter of water in here into the crankcase, sealed it all up. This busted one, that's why it's got the modeling clay on the front, plugging a hole. So I've got a new engine block here because it's got the oil fill here. Then I've got an old crankcase cover because it's got this on it here. That's the oil fill. So basically you filled it right to the top by the split line. So I dumped the water in there, and I wanted to see where the level was. And it's hard to point out, but basically where it is, very hard to see. It's almost to the level of this oil fill. So basically, if I fill it up until it just starts running out of this this hole here, the original oil fill hole, I should be at about the right level. I also have access with the drain plug. It's at approximately the same level also. So it could work as a fill hole or a drain hole also. So don't usually see this view of a lawnmower engine cut in half like this. Kind of different. This is, of course, your cylinder cut in half. Wall's about an 1/8 inch thick, and this is where your valve springs reside. So your lifters would come up from the crankcase through there, and just unusual views. I got a bunch of them that are uniquely cut apart like this. This particular one, like I say, has a hole broken in it there, so wasn't good for much else. But unless you're good with aluminum welding, but could be good for practicing on, I suppose. And then I've got all 6 mounts on it here, so I'm proceeding forward. So now I'm working on the oiling system for my lawnmower engines. A little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I've done it before, but that was like 10 years ago, and I forgot how much fun it was. So I'm relearning.